Okay, so let's start the session. So, what is today's topic? Collision and center of mass. Okay. So, two things we are going to discuss today: collision and second topic, center of mass. I will share my lectures of rotation in the group. Okay, I want you guys to see that because in the next class we will start with moment of inertia, torque, angular momentum, and rolling. These are the four important topics of your rotation chapter. I will send my lecture. Okay, in that lecture, all the things are explained properly. See them. You don't have to solve all the numericals, but at least see the theory and come. So that in the class we can directly start solving the conceptual problems. I don't want to spend time on theory and telling you what is the definition, what is the formula. At least read that and come. Okay. So all of you copy this question. First problem of collision. First question of collision. We'll discuss the theory also quickly. And through this problem also, I'll explain a few things to you. So let's discuss the concept quickly. So first type of collision is called elastic collision. From the name itself, you can understand that what will happen here, the system will be a bit elastic. Elastic means whatever change in shape and size will happen after the collision will regain its shape and size. That is the meaning of elastic. So the first thing what you need to remember is whatever is the type of collision, linear momentum will be always conserved. Whatever collision it is, linear momentum is always conserved. This statement will hold true for all type of collision. Second statement which holds true for all type of collision is total mechanical energy is conserved. So mainly we are going to talk about elastic and inelastic. So in elastic and in inelastic, these two conditions will hold true. Okay. Now the third one is kinetic energy is also conserved. So these 3 points you need to keep in mind. In elastic collision, linear momentum is conserved, kinetic energy is conserved, and total mechanical energy is conserved. Okay, what are these 3 points will hold true for elastic collision. Now, the next one is inelastic collision. So the collision, what you see in day-to-day life, suppose there is an accident between a car and a truck. What type of collision is that? Inelastic. Let me just explain it quickly. I told not to use that entrance. Students who are coming for offline class, don't use that usual entrance. Come from the other entrance. There is some work happening. Okay, it's not safe to come from that entrance. From next week, you can use that. They're changing the stairs. Okay. So the collision between a truck and car, that collision is inelastic collision. So the collision what you see in your day-to-day life is basically a simple case of inelastic. What is the meaning of inelastic? Suppose a car and truck collides. Will there be a dent on the car? Yes. The dent is permanent or temporary? Permanent. ऐसा तो नहीं है the moment you hit it from the inside, the dent will go off, right? Dent is permanent. You have to go to the mechanic or the showroom to fix it. So what is happening? When I say there is a dent on the car, what happened? The kinetic energy of the truck has been converted into the elastic potential energy. Whenever there is a change in shape and size, which energy is coming into picture? Elastic potential energy. So what do you understand from this statement? The kinetic energy of the system in this collision will not be conserved. Some amount of kinetic energy will be converted into elastic potential energy, or in the form of heat, or in the form of sound. When collision happens, sound comes. Okay. So in inelastic collision, first and second will hold true. Third one will not be true. So in third one, what you will write? Kinetic energy is not conserved. Copy. Just write down first and second will hold true. Third one, kinetic energy is not conserved. Kinetic energy is not conserved. I have taken one question also in this. They ask how much kinetic energy is lost. If it is inelastic collision, kinetic energy will be lost. No. In inelastic, you will see one more category. Anyone knows that? What is the name? Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. What is the meaning of perfectly inelastic? After the collision, both the objects will move together with a common velocity. That is the meaning of perfectly inelastic. Let's take a day-to-day life example which you can observe. Suppose there is a collision between a bike and a very big truck or train. Tempo is there, or bike is there, or car is there with a train. What will happen? The train will drag the car for some distance before it stops. After the collision, what is happening? The car and the train both are moving together with a common velocity. So in perfectly inelastic collision, after the collision, both the objects will become single object and move with a common velocity. If you remember grade 9 in NCRT, there was an example, hockey players, India, Pakistan. After they collide, they both get entangled and then roll over the ground or move together for some distance. What is the common velocity? There's a match between India and Pakistan. That was in grade 9th NCRT example, conservation of linear momentum. So there also they were asking common velocity. There was one more example, that there is a girl which is running. When she jumps on the skating board, what is the common velocity of the girl on the skating board? So their skating board and the girl was moving together. Okay. Funda is clear. So in perfectly inelastic collision, what is the funda? Both combines and move together with a common velocity. You can write down the statement. I am writing both objects, maybe three objects also. Okay, so I am taking a simple case of both objects. So both objects move together with a common velocity. Clear? All points clear? We will solve the question. Anyone copying? I'm erasing this part. Let's solve this question. Mark this question as important. Anyone who has already solved, let me know. This question will take 30 seconds to solve. This is your IIT question, JEE question. 30 seconds we will get the answer. Okay, not more than 30 seconds. How? See here. First of all, draw the figure. Two bodies, equal mass, equal velocity. They are in the same plane, but different direction. So first object second object. Are they moving in same direction or different? Different. But plane is same. MV, MV. Just tell me that momentum is same. Momentum is same. This is basically symmetrical case. So this angle and this angle should be same or different? Same. Okay. Because it's a symmetrical case. So this is theta means this should be also theta. If you read the question, there's a statement written, they collide completely inelastically. You can read the question. They have a completely inelastic collision. Means after the collision, both of them will move together with a common velocity. So here they will combine. M plus M will become how much? 2M. Any problem? And what is the velocity given? Half of the initial velocity. What is the velocity? V by. This is the situation already given in the problem. Now, whatever is the nature of collision, linear momentum is always conserved. I told the statement. So finally, it is moving in which direction? X. Correct. So final momentum is in X direction. I will find initial momentum also in X direction. So what will be the component? mv cos theta. mv cos theta. So what is the initial momentum? 2mv cos theta. Any problem? What is the final momentum? 2m into v by 2. 2 gets cancelled, gets cancelled, v gets cancelled. Cos theta is how much? 1 by 2. So this is 60, 60, 120. In how many steps you got the answer? One step. Okay. Cos theta is 1 by 2, theta is 60. They ask total angle. So total will be 120. Any doubts? All clear? Generally, collision question is of moderate level. If you know the difference, if you know what method to be used, it will be of moderate level generally. Now it depends upon your luck what set you get. Collision question can be toughest also. Okay, but we should focus on fundamentals. What question will come, don't worry about that. Okay, should we move to the next one? Top it. Chalo. Next problem. Next one is an interesting question. It looks like it will be very difficult when you see the question or the length of the question and so many blocks. How many blocks are there? 5. So do not judge a question by the length or the number of objects. Okay? Again, it's a moderate level question. You will hardly take 1 minute or 1.5 minutes to solve this. Read the question. If you guys don't want to copy the question, you can skip. I will share the PPT in the group. It's up to you. Okay, you can just write the question number. This is the second question of today's class. If you want to leave space, you can leave space. This PPT I will share in the group. You can refer the PPT for the questions or you can write at home. But if I forget to share the PPT, please remind me. I will share in the group if I forget. Read the questions. Read. What are they asking? What is the total loss of kinetic energy? Why the kinetic energy will be lost? If kinetic energy is lost, you only think what type of collision? Inelastic. And if you read the question, they are telling boss it is perfectly inelastic. It means after every collision, object will start moving together. After first collision, they both will move together. What will be the mass? 2m. Collide with this 2m. After collision, 2m plus 2m, 4m. That 4m will collide with this because after perfectly inelastic, they combine and move together. So 4m plus 4m, 8m. Then that 8m will collide with this 8m, again combine and become how much? 16m. Are you guys understanding? So finally, what will happen? Which object will move? Object of mass 16 m. Is the logic clear? Anyone who is still not clear? Focus on the statement of perfectly inelastic. After collision, object combine and move together. So finally, what we will have? So initially, if you see, we have m moving with velocity v. And finally, what do we have? How much mass? 16 m. With which velocity? I don't know. Collision is perfectly inelastic. Will linear momentum be conserved? Yes. Initial momentum is mv. Final momentum is 16 m into v dash. So what is v dash equal to? V by 16. Now can you guys solve this question? You have initial velocity, means you have initial kinetic energy. You have final velocity, means you have final kinetic energy. If you use your common sense after this, you don't have to write anything. I will tell you why. Listen to me. All of you just give me 15 seconds to explain. If you're thinking after this you have to solve, there's nothing to solve. Initial kinetic energy will have what? Half mv square. Okay. Here, what will be the extra factor? 16. So when you subtract both, what is 1 minus 1 by 16? 15 by 16. What is 15 by 16? If your division is good, if your calculation, when you do 15 by 16, it will be close to 0.93. Answer is option B. That will only be possible if your calculation is good. If your calculation is not good, after that you will solve. You will find initial, you will find final, subtract, multiply by 100. But if your calculation is good, you will say, sir, I can see 16 is the extra factor. 1 minus 1 by 16, 15 by 16. 15 by 16 is 0.93, means 94%. That's what I told that we can solve this also within 1 minute. Solve it, check whether option B is coming or not. All of you. Find both, subtract. Anyone got the answer? No? Not coming? Anyone in the class?
So it is that.
What is that? I will tell you what mistakes. Anyone who is not getting, I will tell you what mistake you are doing. You would have taken mass as m only for the second case. Mass will be 16 m for the second case. Anyone did that mistake? For the second case, mass is not m, it is 16 m. What happened, Parinit? Not getting? Thick. I'm trying to push yourself, all of you, to not write more. Okay? If you write too much, you will not be able to attempt all the questions. That you would have noticed in the paper what I have taken. How many questions you guys are able to attempt? Are you guys able to attempt all 180? If you're solving, not guessing. If you start solving all the questions, now it is very difficult to touch every question. Okay. So that's what I say that look for a practical goal. 140 question also, if you're able to touch and your efficiency is good, it's a very good score. After that, you guess remaining 40. Out of 40, if you get 5, 6 also correct, it's good. Okay. So every exam has a different pattern. So for CET and Comet K, there you have to just out for attempting 140, but perfectly 140. Exactly 140. If you're able to solve more than that, very good. Initial kinetic energy, half mv square. I don't know why you guys are not getting C here. Final will be what? What is the mass? M or 16m? And velocity will be what? V square by 16 square. 16, 16 cancel. So this is what? Half m v square. What is extra in this? 1 by 16. So when you subtract half mv square minus this, half mv square will be common. So what will you get? 1 minus 1 by 16, which is how much? 15 by 16. When you divide, it will come 0.9375 and all. So which option? These kind of questions were in electric potential and capacitor also, that what is the percentage of energy lost or gained when you remove dielectric or insert dielectric. I have subtracted both. When I take half mv square common, 1 minus 1 by 16, 15 by 16. Should we move it to the next problem? Then we copy everything. Whatever method you do, but make sure that you're writing everything. Huh. You solve everything in class, but in the exam it is ulta. Exactly ulta. You will get to know when you see your marks. So write your notes properly. Next problem. Draw the figure. All of you draw the figure. I'll give the hint. All of you listen to me. I want you guys to solve it. This is basically a case of called oblique collision. What is the meaning of oblique collision? Let me explain in very simple words. Have you guys played carom or snooker? There's something called cut shot. Cut means you just touch the other coin or ball tangentially. Okay? If there is a coin here, if you hit it like this is called head on, head to head. Okay? But if this is one coin which is moving like this, okay, there is other coin, suppose, which is moving like this. So when this object will hit the second one, it will just move tangential to the surface of first object. This type of collision is called what? Oblique. Okay, this is the correct oblique collision. But what we call this also as oblique collision. This is not exactly oblique. We call this as collision in two dimension. Collision in two dimensions. So oblique collision is also an example of collision in two dimension. So here what is happening? The object is moving in a plane. You can see that it is not in x or y. It is in xy plane. So whenever you have collision in xy plane, what you do? You apply conservation of linear momentum in x direction separately and then y direction separately. So here you will first apply conservation of linear momentum in x direction and second conservation of linear momentum in y direction. You will get the answer. Try this. Now what happened? How much it cost? I told him whatever you don't know, write B. हाँ? उस एग्जाम में नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं है. In which subject he has done that? Chemistry. Inform me. You will talk to them. Maybe he didn't prepare. दमन से बात कर लेना. पूरे पेपर में बीबी ऑप्शन लिख दिया है पूरे केमिस्ट्री पेपर. सारे 60 के 60 क्वेश्चन। तो अभी केमिस्ट्री क्लास है ना, कुछ नहीं आता, बात कर लेना कि पढ़ने के लिए। Daman has put B option in the whole paper. Chemistry. He put B. He got 9 marks after putting B. He put B for all the. This is a disadvantage of not giving negative marks. Full paper है B डाल दी. ठीक है. All of you finish it. Any answer? Let me know. So in X direction it will be what? M, capital M, right? Mass is capital M. So capital M, 10 cos 30 plus 2m. What is the velocity? 5 and then cos 45. So this is the initial momentum in X direction. What is the final momentum in X direction? 2m into V1 cos 30 plus m into V2 cos 45. Any problem in writing this one? All of you remember how to take component? Check any doubt is there? Component on x-axis. X-axis. What can we cancel? M, 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 M. So 10 cos 30 will be how much? 5 root 3. Then this will be what? 10 by root 2. This 2v1. So root 3 by 2. 2 gets cancelled. It will be root 3 v1. Then cos 45 v2 by root 2. So you can take LCM. So this becomes what? 5 root 6 plus 10 equal to v1 root 6 plus v2. Root 2 will get cancelled. This is the first equation.
No,
This
is
is
it B?
conservation of linear momentum in which direction? X direction. Yes, any answers? I heard someone telling the answer.
B.
How much? B. Okay, I think 6.3 is correct. I have to check for the V1. V1 is 3.2. Okay. Conservation of linear momentum in Y direction. What will be the component? Wherever cos is there, everywhere cos will be replaced by sine. So this will be 10m sine 30. So be careful with the direction. If you take the y component of this, it will be in which direction? Downward. If you take the y component of this, it will be in which direction? Upward. You need to take care of direction. So which one should we take positive and negative? What do you want? You guys only tell. Upward as positive or downward as positive? Upward as positive, ठीक. Plus. This is minus. So this will be plus or minus? Minus. This will be plus. So what will you write? 2m into 5. 10m sine 45 equals to, see the component of this arrow is like this, so it will be what? Upward. So this will be 2m. What is the velocity? v1 sine 30. If you see this one, this is moving upward or downward? Down. So the y component will be plus or minus? Minus. So minus m into V2 sine 45. So m, m, m. So sine 30 is what? 1 by 2. So this becomes how much? Minus 5. This becomes 10 by root 2. This is 2 gets cancelled. So this will be how much? V1 minus V2 by root 2. What will you do? You will take the LCM, add first and second. V2 will get cancelled. You will get what? V1. Calculate, tell me the answer first. So minus 5 root 2 plus 10 equals to V1 root 2 minus V2. So this is my second equation. Add both, find out the value. I got one answer as option B. Let me check. Option B is not correct. I think I know, Kunal, what mistake you have done. You have not taken the sign properly, I think. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think that only.
Yeah. You didn't consider plus minus. That's why you got option B. Option A is the right answer. Momentum is a vector quantity, right? Not scalar. You have to take care of the direction. What happened, Parinit? Resting. Resting. Are you resting? Means taking rest. तो फिर solve करो ना. Finish it. I told what is the method to do. Add both. V2 will get cancelled. You will get V1. If roots are there, you see, you need to know the approximate value of root. Root 2 is how much? 1.4. Root 3 is 1.7. You have to substitute that. Anyone got
Sir,
the value?
is it
Yes.
A?
Yeah. Option A is the right answer. Option A is the right answer. Come. Yeah. I think we should get. I got only one student getting the right answer. The calculation very lengthy. Add both minus 5 root 2 plus 10 equal to V1 root 2 minus V2. Add both. V2, V2 will get cancelled. So 5 root 6 minus 5 root 2 plus 10 plus 10, 20. V1 into root 2 plus root 6, right? We can find the approximate value. See, root 2 is how much? 1.4. What will be root 6? Root 2 into root 3. So it is how much? 1.4 into 1.7. So 14 sevens are 98. 8, 14 ones are 14. 14 plus 9 will be how much? 23. This will be what? 2.38. Okay. Now here we will take 5 common. So what is root 6 minus root 2? If we subtract 13 minus 4, 9. So 0.98, right? So 0.98 plus 20 divided by root 2.38 is there now. I'm taking this as 2.4. Okay. So let's not do exact calculation. I will take this as 1, 0.98. So this becomes 5 plus 20, 25. 25 by 2.4. What should be the answer? Which option? If you see 3.2 is not possible. So it should be what? Close to 6.5. Now you will say, sir, how? I'm taking too much approximation. That's why it is happening. Okay. So what is the closest option? 6.5. I've taken a lot of approximation, that's why. Now, once you have V1, you can substitute in any equation, you will get V2. It will be option A. V2 I told to calculate. Okay. You want me to do everything here? Syllabus will never get over if I do each and every calculation. Is the funda clear? These type of questions, how to approach? Pakka? You can do the calculation after the class. Answer is option A. Now erase the top part. This part, anyone copy? All of you add one statement. See, the statement is when two objects of equal mass collides elastically, when two objects of equal mass collides elastically, velocity gets exchanged. Okay. So when two bodies of equal mass collides, is spelling correct for collide? Double L will be there, na? Collides elastically, then velocity gets exchanged after the collision. After the collision. Gets exchanged after the collision. So conditions you need to remember. First condition, elastic collision. Second condition, equal mass. When both of them will satisfy, then only you can apply this trick. Now you will say, sir, how do you get this trick? Conservation of linear momentum and conservation of kinetic energy. If you do that, you will get the same thing that you can try after the class. Now, I am just giving you one scenario that where can we use it. Suppose we have an object of mass m moving with velocity u1 and there is object mass m1 only, same mass, moving with velocity u2. So this is before collision. This is before collision. Okay. Now when they collide, let us assume that the mass is m1 only, velocity is v1 and velocity is v2. This is after collision. So if you read the question, what are they telling? Means not question. If you read the statement that equal mass elastic collision velocity gets exchanged. So the final velocity of the first object will be same as the initial velocity of the second object. Velocity of the object gets exchanged. So whatever is the final velocity of first object will be same as the initial velocity of the second object. So V1 will be equal to U2 and V2 will be equal to U1. That is the meaning of velocity gets exchanged. First ka will become second, second ka will become first. So V1 will be equal to how much? U2 and V2 will be equal to, make a note of this. But do remember the condition under which it holds true. Don't apply it everywhere. Won't poke you, you'll start laughing. But if you come by auto, Sometimes you come by auto, no? Is auto wala selling something to you? All right. I see him laughing every class, so I start doubting that you are buying something from. The moment he steps in the class, starts laughing. Okay, all of you copied this. Done. Check. So remember this. If you want to prove it, I already told that if you want to prove it, because it is elastic collision, conservation of linear momentum will hold true, and initial kinetic energy will be final. So when you do that calculation, you will see that V1 will come as U2 and V2 will come as U1. Okay, you can check that after the class. But if you remember, you will save your 1 minute. We move ahead. Okay. Now, if you remember grade 11 in NCRT, in the last section, I think most of you will not remember that. There was a question of snooker or billiards that there is a ball at rest. Okay. There is a ball at rest. The other ball hits that ball, and after that, both of them moves at an angle. Find that angle. Anyone of you remember? Grade 11. 11. There is a snooker ball. Okay. You are hitting that ball and the collision is perfectly elastic. After that, both of them move in two different directions. The question was, what is the angle between them? Or we were supposed to prove that they move perpendicular to each other. 90 degree. Perpendicular means 90 degree. Okay, so 90 degree is the answer. That was in your NCRT. If you get time after the class, you can open your grade 11 NCRT. If you don't have, you can download it in the system of particles only. You'll see that in the last section, collision. That was an example. You can read that. They have proved it. Again, proof is not required. Okay, but you should know that statement. I will repeat that statement again. No need to worry. It is possible. It is possible. All of you read this question. Read this question. This question was asked in your IIT 2018. It was taken directly from NCRT ka example. The answer is M. It is taken directly from. That's why I say that read NCRT. But what we do, we read all the other books except NCRT first. Huh? How can you read? Read means you're not like a newspaper, means whatever important numericals are there. So I know that physics ka NCRT is a bit complicated book. Rather than learning more, you get more confused. At least still solve all the questions, but now the time is not there. That's what happened in this physics exam. This time CBSE people forgot to refer NCRT. How many questions were there from NCRT in the physics paper? I think one question though I remember, the two marker, that PN junction. Okay. Proton of, let's come back here, come back to the problem. A proton of mass m collides elastically with a particle of known mass at rest. That's what I told. The thing what I told now, that suppose if you think of the snooker table, ball is there and you hit that ball. Okay, so the ball is at rest. You're hitting that ball at rest with a ball of the same mass. Okay, and elastic. If the collision is elastic and both the objects, listen to the conditions. Collision is elastic. Both the objects are of same mass. Third condition, one of the object is at rest. There are three conditions. Then after the collision, both of them will move in two different direction with an angle of 90 degree between them. So here it is already mentioned that the angle is 90 degree. It means what should be the mass of the other object? Same as the first object. So what is the answer? You don't even have to use pen for this question if you know this concept, if you have read your NCR. Now, if you are too much curious that, sir, how to prove it? Conservation of linear momentum, because it is elastic collision, conservation of kinetic energy. These two things you have to use. It will minimum take 1.5 minutes to prove. Okay? So that is the reason I told you can refer your NCRT after the class if you're too much interested. Conservation of linear momentum and conservation of kinetic energy. So if you want to note down, you can note down this statement. The statement is self-explanatory. Everything is written. So answer is option D. Two objects of same mass, elastic collision, one object at rest. One object has to be at rest. Then the angle between them after the collision will be 90 degree. Make a note of the statement, and after this we'll start center of mass. Okay, copy it. Not interested in copying. From where will you copy? I will send this PPT, but there is no answer in this PPT. Only questions are there. I told that don't need to copy questions. I will share the PPT, but at least copy the information, right? Answers. The statement is when two objects of equal mass collide elastically, where one of the object is at rest. After the collision, the angle between them will be 90 degree. Two objects of equal mass colliding elastically with one of the object at rest. After the collision, the angle between them will be 90 degree. Done. Write down the heading center of mass. I'm going to start center of mass. Like I told that I'll share the lectures of rotational motion. You guys have to see those lectures. What topics? In that lecture, I've explained moment of inertia or an angular momentum. These three things you guys see and go. Okay, because in next class, I will finish torque as well as moment of inertia. I will try to finish angular momentum. And in the next physics class, we'll finish a rolling motion. So in two class, we'll finish. So I need your support also. See that lecture and come. If you're already aware about all the fundamentals, no problem. Then in class, you'll understand everything. But at least the ABCD of moment of inertia, torque should be known to you before you come to the next physics class. And in maths, what are we starting? Straight lines. For straight line, what did I ask you to read? NCRT. All type of straight lines, basics. What is slope? What is general form? What is a formula for shortest distance? How to identify parallel lines? At least these basic. It will hardly take 30 minutes for you to read them. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'm opening the slide. So let's start the class. Let's start the topic center of mass. Simple topic, nothing difficult in center of mass. So COM. What is center of mass of a particular system or object? Don't tell me any bookish definition. What is simple meaning of center of mass? Huh?
The point at which
Mass?
you can balance it.
Yes. Parinit, what did Parinit tell? He told? Why, what happened? 1 second. Did he tell? अर्निंग पर तक यहाँ पे आ रहा है. आप आगे चेक कर लो ना, यहाँ पे कैसे चेक करेंगे? स्मेल है उधर से, नीचे से आओ, उस तरफ से. हाँ, उधर से आना. चेक कर लो, स्मेल आ रहा है, कहीं कुछ जल ना गया. Yes, Parinit, what definition you told? The mass where center is present. The, I will repeat what you said. You said the mass of a body where center is present. Mass of a body. Take your time. You told mass of a body where mass is present at the center of the object. So that is center of mass. Okay. So what is center of mass? Correct. Aditi, you told the correct thing. See, in very simple words, if someone asks you what is center of mass or center of gravity, a point about which you can balance the object. Simple. Take it, no fancy definition required. Point about which, suppose you're writing with a pen, try to balance your pen. Point about which you can balance the pen is the center of mass or center of gravity of the pen. If it is difficult to balance the pen, balance your notebook. Have you guys seen that? Sometimes we spin the basketball or notebook. Okay? So that used to be. We also did few experiments. Yes, I remember. The person is underground. That was the second time we recorded all the experiments, and he's underground. I asked him where is the video for the experiment. Okay. So center of mass is the point about which we can balance the object, or you can say center of gravity. Now you may have a doubt here why there are two names, center of mass and center of gravity. See, exact definition for center of gravity we say is the point about which the net weight of the object is present, because it is gravity, net weight. For center of mass, we say the point about which the net mass of the object is present. But see, in day-to-day life, whatever object you see, whatever object in day-to-day life, center of mass and center of gravity is same, okay, in day-to-day life. But is center of mass and center of gravity always same? No. Now, what is the example? Suppose, let's assume that there is a very tall building, very tall building. You know that with height, G ka value changes. Okay? With height, G ka value changes. So what is G at a particular height? Do you guys remember? G into 1 minus anyone? Grade 11 is history now. Why to remember that? So acceleration due to gravity at any particular height is G into 1 minus 2h by r, where h is the height from the surface of the earth and r is the radius of the earth. We will discuss this in gravity. So what do you understand? If I am moving at a particular height from the surface of the earth, and the height should be significant, G ka value will decrease. If G decreases, what will happen to weight? Weight will also decrease. So it means if I take a building which is very tall, so if I divide this into two equal halves, if it is very tall, The floors which are on the upper half will have more weight or less weight? Less weight, because G ka value is decreasing. But the floors on the lower half, or which is close to the ground, will have more weight. So weight will be more in the lower half, weight will be less in the upper half. So center of gravity will be at the center or will shift down? Shift down. But center of mass will be at the center, because G changes doesn't mean mass changes. Mass remains same. Because G is changing, weight will be changing. Upper half ka weight will be less because G is decreasing. Lower half ka weight will be more because G will be more here. So center of gravity will be a bit down from the center of mass. So if center of mass is at the center, center of gravity will be at a point which is below. So this is a simple example to explain you when they will be different. But that's what I told. In day-to-day life, whatever building you see, okay, whatever structure you see, center of mass and center of gravity is almost same. But in reality, they are different. Any questions? All clear? Okay. They will not ask you these things in the exam, means in that much detail, but for your information, I told you. Any one of you who is going into core field, mechanical, civil, electronics, electrical, these things will be there. Center of mass, center of gravity. Any one of you planning to take mechanical or civil? Mechanical, civil. Whoever is planning to take mechanical, civil, if your physics is weak, don't even think of taking mechanical and civil. You will struggle in the college. I remember in the first year, there was only one book only for free body diagram. Only for free body diagram. That much free body diagram I have drawn in first semester. Take it. First year, you have to read all the subjects. First year, you have to read computer subject also, civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, computer science, everything. Basic engineering. Okay. So full free body diagram in one book. Then there will be one book where only KCL, KVL and magnetism. So choose what you like. Don't see someone else who is doing what. Whatever you're interested in, that's what I told during regular classes also. If you need any help in choosing the branch, you can talk to me or Vikram. We will guide you with whatever information we have got. Huh? Yes, we'll talk after the exam and all. But don't check on Google. Talk to someone who have done that. They will tell you what is the, because I'm not scaring you or demotivating. I'm just telling you that it should not happen that after first year you think I took the wrong decision, which I did. Okay, I regretted throughout the 4 year. Why did I take electronics and communication? Huh? Computer science. Computer science, yes, computer science you will enjoy. You see electronics, electrical and mechanical students, they will be studying. Now you will say in movies they don't study. If they don't study, they fail. Okay. If they don't study, they fail. Nobody tops by studying 2 hours. They properly study. They do their project work. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the first question. And whoever is planning to take computer science, uh, let me tell you what is happening nowadays. The job of computer science engineers are being replaced by bots. Huh? Okay. So if you think that computer science is something where you will be on the top or you will boom, the time is over. Because in most of the work which happens in information technology field, which is called IT, okay, most of the people do copy paste. Okay, you can ask your parents also. I have friends, I've seen them doing copy paste and they are earning lakhs. Okay. So make sure that when you choose computer science, you go into the research field, because all the copy paste ka thing and people who are working on SQL, people work, you guys have studied SQL? Okay? It's basic English. I also know SQL. I also know Python. Python and SQL, anyone can learn. Anyone. Until unless you're not into research field, you can be replaced by bots anytime. So research means, let me tell you what is research. Computer science combined with any other stream. Computer science combined with biotech. Computer science combined with mechanical. Computer science combined with electronics engineering. Computer science combined with medical field. Okay? If you are doing that, then you are safe. If you're only taking computer science, you are running the normal code, you will be replaced anytime. Okay. And now this is the time where the core field, electrical, electronics, mechanical, civil, chemical, biotech, these fields will boom. This is a reality. If you're not aware, I'm just telling you. That doesn't mean that you don't take computer science. Go into the research field. Be ready to do masters and PhD. Bachelor's will not be enough. That's what I'm trying to say. So take a particular stream and be ready to do masters and PhD. Bachelor's is not going to be enough. Okay? Time is changing. Now only doctors will not study for 10 years. Engineers will also study for 8 to 10 years. Okay? Then only you will be paid like good amount. So now the real challenge is in front of you, that be ready to study 6 to 8 years if you're engineer also. Otherwise, what you used to say? 4 years done, engineering done. Okay. So let's start this thing. So see how to find the position of center of mass. All of you see on the board. I think we went a lot of offbeat. So how to find the position of center of mass? M1 R1 plus M2 R2 divided by M1 plus M2. This is called position of center of mass. This system is called discrete system. What is the meaning of discrete system? Discrete system means if the number of particles in the system is less. I'm not telling you the exact definition. What you need, that's what I'm telling. Discrete means if the number of particles are less. Suppose you have a straight line, two particles are there, discrete system. Suppose you have a triangle, three particles are there, discrete system. Suppose you have a square, on the vertex of the square or rectangle, four particles are there. That is discrete system. If less number of particles are present in the system, it is discrete. If you have third particle, you will just write M3 R3 plus M3 in the denominator. Now, if you have a continuous system, now what is the meaning of continuous system? Continuous system means, suppose if there are 1,000 particles in a object, okay? Will you do this 1,000 times? No. So what is the other method of adding? Which mathematical tool? Integration. Integration. So what we say, RCOM is equal to mass of the particle multiplied by its position. So mass of the particle is dm, not Instagram wala dm. Dm is basically small mass of the particle, right? In chemistry, or not chemistry, I'm telling physics and maths, we have used this thing dl, dx. So what is dx? Small displacement in x direction. Dl means small length. So dm is the small mass of the particle multiplied by its position. So what will I do? It add. For adding, integration. So you don't have to remember this as a formula. See, mass of the small particle multiplied by its position. I want to add all, integration. Okay. If you're not able to visualize this, I will show you one figure also here. Suppose you have an irregular shape object, correct? It will have how many particles? Many particles, crore, lakhs, infinite number of particles. Suppose you take the example of basketball. How many particles will be there? Air particles will be there. And whatever substance you have used to make basketball, there will be a lot of particles of that. There will be millions of particles. Okay. I want to find the center of mass of that basketball. What method will I use? This one or this one? Second one. So I am taking irregular shape. If I take a small particle here, very small particle, the smallest particle whose mass is dm. If I join it to origin, If I join this to origin, the distance is r. So what will be the dm into r? That will be what? The center of mass of this. I want to find the center of mass of hole. What will I do? Is the funda clear? Whenever things are variable, you will use what? Continuous, or lot of particles are there. Wherever things are like less number of particles, discrete. Profit? Can I erase anyone writing? Let's start with the first question. Start with the first question. One more statement I want you guys to write. Write down the statement. Position of center of mass doesn't change. The statement is the position of center of mass. Tanvi, write down. The position of center of mass doesn't change due to an internal force. The position of center of mass doesn't change due to an internal force. What is the example for this? Explosion. Whenever explosion will happen, do you guys remember we solved this question in the range when we were doing projectile motion? That object explodes at the maximum height. One object was moving exactly downward. Where will the other particle land? So I explained that whenever there is an explosion, the position of the center of mass before explosion and after explosion will be same. Okay? Because explosion happens because of internal chemical reactions. Explosion is not happening that I'm taking a hammer and hitting the bomb. Okay? It is happening with the moment you remove the pin, whatever chemical reaction happen inside, it explodes. So explosion may position of center of mass will not change before explosion and after explosion. It will remain same. Now let's start with the first question. All of you have read the problem. You can read the problem quickly. There are two methods to solve this. Okay? I will tell both the methods, whatever suits you. By shortcut, we can solve in 15 seconds. It will take 15-20 seconds. What is happening? Two objects present at distance d, center of mass is present. One object is pushed towards left. They are asking how much second object should be also pushed towards left so that center of mass ka position doesn't change. Okay? All of you see on the board the shortcut. So what is XCOM or RCOM? RCOM is how much? M1 R1 plus M2 R2 by M1 plus M2. Remember that this is vector. All of you see on the board, this is a vector. So you need to write the position with its proper sign. You will not write only the magnitude. You will write the magnitude with the sign because it is a vector. All of you just see on the board. Just give me a few more seconds. If I write this thing, delta RCOM, okay, delta RCOM means what is the change in the position of center of mass? It should be equal to what? M1 delta R1 plus M2 delta R. Okay? Remember this thing. Remember this thing. I don't want to go into the detail of error distribution of units and dimension. Okay? That will again take a lot of time. So remember this thing. So whatever is the change in the position of center of mass will be M1 into delta R1 means change in the position of first particle and change in the position of second particle. Okay? Use this, you will get the answer in one step. The first particle is moving d distance towards the center. So plus d or minus d? Minus, it is moving towards left. Okay? I know that you would have taken ulta thing, no problem, that is also correct. M1, M2. This is center of mass. I am taking the center of mass to be origin. I am assuming that. Okay, whenever nothing is mentioned, you take the center of mass as origin. So it is moved how much here? D. They are telling how much it should be moved towards this. I'm telling D dash. So what is the change in position of M1? You will write D or minus D? Minus D towards left. M1 into minus D plus M2 into how much? Okay, this is plus or minus? So I wrote this as okay. This should be plus. This is moving towards here. This should be minus. You can take ulta also, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I took this as positive, this as negative, but I changed it because you guys are telling that it is moving towards positive x direction. Plus, this is moving towards negative x direction. That doesn't matter. You can take ulta also. One will be positive, other will be negative. What is the change in position of center of mass? Read the question. What are they telling? Center of mass ka position should not change. So what is this? 0. Shift the term. M2 into D dash equal to M1 into D. So what will be D dash equal to? M1 by M2 into which option? Clear? Any problem? I'm repeating again if anyone is getting confused, sir, how to decide plus and minus, boss. If this is plus, this will be minus. If this is minus, this will be plus. Don't get confused. But you guys told that, sir, it is moving towards right side, so take it as plus, so I take it as plus. Any problem? So how many steps? One, two. If you know the concept, two steps are enough. Got it? If you think logically, na, you know these things already. It is same as conservation of linear momentum. One object is moving towards left, one object is moving towards right, so that the net momentum is 0. So m1 v1 equal to m2 v2. So if you see that m1 d1 equal to m2 d2, you already know this. Only way we approach is different. If I differentiate both the sides, what will happen? This will become v1, this will become v2. m1 v1 equal to m2 v2. Any doubt, students? Anyone? Okay. Now just answer one question. If we have a symmetrical object, where will be the center of mass? At its geometrical center. Suppose you take a circular plate. Where will be the center of mass of the circular plate? At its center. And how do you find the center? Point of intersection of two diameters. Correct? Now suppose if you have a rectangular plate or square plate, it's a uniform shape, uniform. Mass is uniformly distributed. Where will be center of mass? At its geometrical center. How do you find the geometrical center? What? Yes, the point of intersection of two diagonals. But the moment mass is not uniformly distributed, then center of mass will not be same as its geometrical center. What do I mean by mass is not uniformly distributed? Suppose if I draw a square shape here, okay? If it is a square plate, you will say, sir, the center will be at its center of mass will be at its geometrical center. I am telling that from this square plate, you remove this much mass. This much mass is removed. It is still square. Only this much mass is removed. So what will be the thing now? Here it will be hollow. I'm not cutting the boundary. Boundary is still there. I'm telling that boss, it is hollow from here. Now, is the mass uniformly distributed? No. You will say that the mass is not present here. So will the center of mass at the same point? No. Center of mass will shift. So these kind of question comes in your exam. That if there is a square plate or rectangular plate, from there if I remove a particular portion, what will be the position of new center of mass? Okay, that is the first. Second basic questions that calculate the center of mass of an object. So let's start the questions on the formula what we discussed, M1R1 plus M2R2 divided by M1 plus M2. So the first question was just a very basic question. I hope that all of you got it. I always take the reference of conservation of linear momentum for that question. M1 V1 equal to M2 V2. Just replace velocity with distance. You get the answer in 2-3 seconds. So what will be the answer for this? No need to solve. Just tell me the answer. I already explained this. Doesn't shift. We discussed this. If an object explodes in the air, position of center of mass changes? No. So it explodes into two parts, m by 3 and 2m by 3. Will the center of mass position change? No. So which option? Doesn't shift. In an explosion, position of center of mass will not change. I hope that there's no problem in this. We'll move to next question. All of you copy this problem. No need to copy the whole thing, just draw the figure. That is enough. We need to find the center of mass of this T-shaped object. Go on. Sure, let's solve it. Students who know it, tell me the answer. If you read the statement here, they're telling that this force is applied at point P. All of you see on the board. Force is applied on point P. And after that force, what type of motion object is doing? Translatory. It means this point P should be which point? Center of mass. Okay, if you are not getting the feel, the notebook on which you are writing, try to push that notebook from one of the corner. Is it tending to rotate or not? Yes. Okay. But when you push the same notebook exactly from the center, you will see that it will only move in the forward direction, which is called translatory motion. So when they say that a force is applied at a particular point and the object is only doing translatory motion, it indirectly means that point is center of mass or center of gravity. Okay, that is the meaning of this statement. That force is applied such that object has only translatory motion. It means that point P is the center of mass of this whole system. Whole system. No. P is the center of mass of T shape. Okay. Now, how many objects we have in this? Two rods. This system, T is the system. That system consists of how many objects? Two objects. So, what will I write? M1 Y1 plus M2 Y2 divided by M1 plus M2. They only need this position, right? So, I need X or Y? Y. So, I am taking this point as 0, 0. I need to find YCOM. Any problem? I think in the last question also I told that if they don't mention a particular point and you want to take all the distance from there, assume it to be origin. Now, all of you answer this thing. If you see only this one, where will be the center of mass of this rod? Total length is 2L. L. So M1, length is 2L. So I'm taking mass as 2M. Length is L. I'm taking mass as M. So 2M into, where is the center of mass of this rod? Of this rod. M2 is which rod? AB. So what is the mass of AB? M. Now see that if it is a uniform rod of length L, where will the center of mass? L by 2. But it is a horizontal rod, right? So where will be the center? Here. L by 2. What is the distance from this point to this point? 2L. This L by 2 will be the x coordinate of center of mass. I need which coordinate? Y. So what will be the y coordinate from here to here? 2L. 2L. So m into 2L divided by 2m plus m, 3m. Solve it. M gets cancelled. So what is the answer? 4L by 3. Option. This is a very basic question and one of the best question what I feel to get comfortable with this formula. Mass of first particle into center of mass of first particle. Mass of second particle into center of mass of second particle. What happened, Dhruv? That's what you break the diagram into particles. So it is P shape. Break this into two rods. This question also you'll find in your NCERT. This was asked in the IIT exam 2005. Well, any problem? Huh. Center of mass of the first particle. Y2 is the center of mass of second particle. P is the center of mass of the whole particle. Whole particle means whole system. They told, right, that object has only which object? T. T is the object. So P is the center of mass of T shape. I have written also the whole object. Clear? Any doubt? Next one. Yes, yes, correct. You'll find this. This question is also in the NCRT. In NCRT, you'll find triangle as well as square question. This question also you'll find. All of you solve this. So how many particles are there? Three. So m1x1 plus m2x2 plus m3x3. Okay. For y, you don't have to do the calculation. I will tell why. For y, I will tell you a simple observation from which you can save the time. For x, you have to do the calculation for x. All of you tell me the x coordinate. Use the formula fast. Yes, you can take. Very good. You can take this point as origin. This point. So what will be the coordinate of this 0, comma 0? This will be 3, comma 0. And this will be what? 0, comma 4. Very good. One of the point you can always take as origin, which will save your time in calculation. The name is Damanpreet Singh, not Ramanpreet in the Excel. Please change it. Yeah. Where is Vikram? Damanpreet. Daman. वो मैसेज डिलीट कर दो. दमन. उसमें रमनप्रीत लिखा होगा. दमनप्रीत को डिलीट कर दो. तो चेंज कर रही है. वो चेंज कर रही है अभी फिर. फिलहाल पढ़ने में अच्छा है लेकिन ऑनलाइन लिख रहा है पता नहीं आएगा. उसको ऑफलाइन मिला था पता चलेगा. ध्रुव कैसे 115 है. धनवी तो उल्टा. एक उसको समझा धनवी जबकि जेई में 85% आया है. सबको याद है उसका. देखो अभी कौन कौन बच्चा अच्छा है. प्रणीत ऑलमोस्ट 100 टच कर रहा है. प्रणीत, ध्यान, अदिति, पुन्ना. चार बच्चे पे थोड़ा ध्यान दे, ये लोग बहुत अच्छा कॉलेज है कुणाल। केसेट में कैसा करें, क्योंकि देखो दोनों एग्जाम डिफरेंट है। हर कोई उतना फास्ट सोच नहीं पाता है। जो बच्चा सोचता है वो ट्रिक नहीं लगा पाता। उसको एक दो पेपर लिखवाना होगा, देखेंगे कैसा। चार बच्चे को थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा ध्यान देते हैं, इन लोगों को थोड़ा बीच बीच में मोटिवेट ज्यादा मटेरियल में जो 120 सेफ स्कोर टू गेट वेरी गुड कॉलेज। तो मेरे को लग गया, तो कल चिक्की लेके आ गया था, जा गया था वहाँ चिक्की लेके आया था वहाँ से। आज कहाँ से मैं लेके आया था, A1 गया था वहाँ पीछे तक पैदल। क्या? अब मेरे को तो पता है, मैंने देखा भी नहीं वो कहाँ है। भेज दो उसको, भेज दी वॉशिंग में। जाओ अभी खा के आ जाओ कहीं नीचे से कुछ। विच ऑप्शन, A B C D? हाँ डी। डी, ओके। X coordinate, what I remember is 0.9. Yeah, it should be D, correct. You guys got X coordinate? 0.9. For Y coordinate, we don't have to do the calculation. Do you guys do the calculation for Y coordinate? So only one option is there with that. Achha. If I am there, I will give one more option with 0.9 because then you guys guessed. But I will tell you one simple thing. This is 0, comma 4. So X coordinate of center of mass. What will you write? M1 X1. What is the mass? 1. What is the X coordinate? 0. What is the mass? 1.5. What is the X coordinate? 3. 4.5. What is the mass? 2.5. What is the X coordinate? Any problem? Total mass 1, 2.5, 2.5. How much? 5.9. Now, see, for the Y coordinate, you don't have to do the calculation Y. What is the mass at the bottom? 2.5. What is the mass on the top? So, where should be the center of mass? At the center. What will be center of 4? Observation. Observation, common sense saves your time. Okay? Here calculation is simple, so you will say, sir, it doesn't save my time. But when there is a complicated question or paragraph based question, you will feel that these type of observation saves your 30 second, 20 seconds. I'm repeating again. Here it is 1.5 plus 1.5, 2.5. 2.5 is here also. If you bring it here, so 2.5, 2.5 on a straight line, where will be the y coordinate? 4 ka half. Clear? Make a note of these things. You will not find these things in the textbook. These are just basic observations. This next question you can take as homework. This question you can take as homework. You can see same type of problem. Three particles. Coordinates are given. You will take this as 0, comma 0. So what is this coordinate? 1, comma 0. What is this coordinate? 0.5, comma. X coordinate is how much? 0.5. How will you find Y coordinate? Trigonometry. How will you find Y coordinate? Basically the height. Trigonometry. Base is how much? 0.5. So you will use what? Tan 60 equals to perpendicular by base. So will you get the height? Yes. That height will be the Y coordinate. X coordinate is 0.5. So do you know all the three coordinates? Can you find the center of mass? So take this as homework. You can just draw the figure. No need to copy the question. Just draw the figure and write. Find the position of center of mass of the system. Like I told that I will share the PDF. Just anyone in the group can remind me if I forget to send the PPT. I'll say this PPT. No need to copy the question. Just draw the figure. Do you guys have chemistry class? Let me check with him. I need to extend for 5 minutes. I'll just extend for 5 minutes. Done. Copy the question. So do solve it. We'll discuss the answer in the next class. All of you copied the figure, na? Anyone writing? Next question. All of you draw the figure. Draw the figure. So what is, you can see here that particular part is removed. This shaded part is removed. They're asking what is the coordinate of the center of mass of the remaining portion. Remaining portion. Yes. Draw the figure. Huh? We solved also. Why don't guess? Solve. I trust your guessing power so much. Aren't it? What logic you applied? Tell me. I will also know what logic you have applied. Yeah, Pranay, tell me what logic you applied. No. Want to keep the secret with you only. So you will reveal the strategy after 2 days. After your JEE mains. Okay. Chalo, let's discuss it. All of you see on the board. So stop talking. See here. Whenever a particular part is removed, what is the change we do in the formula? Instead of plus, we write minus. Instead of plus, we will write minus. So what will I write here? M1 R1 minus M2 R2. Okay. So why subtracted? Because this part is removed. It's quite obvious if you see. And what will be the remaining mass or total mass? M1 minus M. That's it. This is a change. Okay. Now, if you go to advanced level, what they ask here, that one particular part is removed and the same part is added here. All of you listen to me carefully. This can be asked as a theory question. So one part is removed from here, okay, and the same part is added here. So will the position of center of mass change? Yes or no? I'm repeating the question. I removed one part from here and I added the same part on the left side. Will the center of mass position change? Yes or no? Obviously, it will change because you are removing something and adding the same part, but not at the same position. You're adding the part which is removed on this left side. So more mass will be present on which side? Left. The center of mass will shift towards left. It's common sense. कोई rocket science नहीं है. Center of mass will always shift towards that side where more mass is present. Okay. So suppose if I add one particle to this, what will I write in the formula? Plus M3 R3 and plus M3. Any problem? If I remove something and I add something, here M3 R3 is not required. Let's solve this question. Now all of you see on the board, there is one more method. There is one more method. What you will write? Instead of position, you will write what? M1 A1 minus M2 A2 divided by, don't write this thing. This will be A1 R1 minus A2 R2 divided by A1 minus A2. This is the thing. So mass is replaced by area. Okay. All of you copy this and try to solve it. Uh-huh. They can connect from somewhere else. लोगों के पास बोर्ड है क्या? नहीं हो पाएगा. There's no port. That will not work. That is. हाँ हाँ. That's it. I don't know. They paid only. हाँ. They can message or I will just on that half of this. Once she comes here, you can tell her. Yeah, yeah. Basic chemistry. Okay. Anyone got the answer? A is what here? Area. If mass is not given, you can substitute mass with area. Here area is given, right? Length and to breadth AB. So whatever suits according to situation, we can use it. So I will use A wala thing here. So X coordinate of center of mass. So this is what? This is for the whole object. And what is this? This is for the object which is removed. Total minus removed. A1 is the total area. What is the total area? Length into breadth. What is the coordinate of center of mass for the whole object? A by 2 comma B by 2. So I am finding for X. So what is the center of mass? A by 2. Minus. This is for the part which is removed. This is for removed part. So what is the area of the part which is removed? This much part is removed. This is how much area? 1/4 of the total area. What is the total area? AB. So this will be AB by 4. Any problem? Anyone in the class? Now, the thing where you need to be careful is R2 is the center of mass for the part which is removed. For the part which is removed. So where will be the center? Somewhere here, right? So what will be the X coordinate? This is A by 2 and this will be A by 4. So what will be the value? What is A by 2 plus A by 4? 3A by 4. So 3A by 4. Any problem? Check. The mistake what we do, we just take the distance from here. But origin is here, it is marked. You will take the distance from this point or this point? Here. Okay, don't do that mistake. Now, in the denominator, what we will have? AB minus AB by 4? 3AB by 4. So what can we cancel? AB, AB, AB. So what will be left? A by 2 minus 3A by 16 divided by 3 by 4. So what is the LCM? 16. So 8 minus 3A, 5A by 16. So what is the answer? Solve it. 5A by 12. I'm getting this. Parineet, you told D, na? Is it coming 5A by 12? Coming 5A by 12? How come? You got this expression? So when you solve 4, 4 is 16, right? So 5A by 12. And you know what legends do. But Parineet did, he told the answer, I think. How many seconds, Parineet, you took? Within 0.1. The moment he saw the question, he told the answer, option D. So it is 5A by 12. Okay. Now, if you see the option, I think there is only one option with 5A by 12, 5B by 12. Now, suppose there is one more option. I will tell you again one trick here. How can you save your time for this thing? Because object is symmetrical. Is it a symmetrical object or not? So what will happen when you are calculating the y coordinate of the center of mass? A will be replaced by B, which is basically the height. For y coordinate, which dimension will come into picture? Height or base? Height. B. In this question also, you can use your common sense to save your time. Y coordinate will be how much? Same pattern, A will be replaced by B. But you don't have to do that because there is only one option with that, so D option. Okay? Always read the options. Otherwise, some students do what? They don't see that there is only one option. They start solving Y also in the flow. They're solving Y. Always observe the options when you solve MCQ. It will be always helpful to you. You'll save time. Okay. So this question has been designed in such a way that you save your time. You don't give your time in calculating Y. Okay. So this is the story of center of mass. I hope that you guys got the fair idea. So this thing you remember. When area is given, don't use the mass wala thing. A1 x1 minus A2 x2 by A1 minus A. Okay. So tomorrow we'll start with tomorrow's maths class or physics. Whatever it is in next physics class, moment of inertia, torque, angular momentum. I will share the lecture. Do see it and do read straight lines and come for tomorrow's session. Okay. Chalo. Bye guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.